Hi, welcome to Renovate Mind Life Coaching. I'm Muhammad Hashmatullah Khan, your coach. Today we will be discussing on the topic decoding the female brain. Quite shocking, right? This comes from the Dr. Stefan Astima. Know that you are not alone. Everybody feels this way and the part of our numerology. Dear friends, what we are going to discuss, you know that our brain has two sides. Two hemispheres of our brain, right and left side, right? Okay. Our brain typically develops from the right to left. Example, a baby starts off with more gross motor skill before developing the ability to hold a pen and develop left side of our motor skills. The left side is classically called the male side of the brain, strategic, linear, and mathematical. Dopamine lives on the left side of the brain. This is our motivator, keeps us engaged with the things we love to do, keep us passionate. That's the domain of dopamine. We can control our left level of dopamine. The right side of the brain, which is sensual, passionate, creative, where serotonin lives. What is serotonin? Is happy hormones. The right side is classically called the female side of the brain, where serotonin lives, happy hormones, lives on the right side of the brain. You don't raise your own level of serotonin, level get raised by your external environment. For example, receiving positive reinforcement from the people around you. Then when serotonin gets high, it will drive dopamine release. Difference between the male and female brain. Men have twice as many serotonergic receptors in their brain than the women. Meaning, women need twice as much as positive reinforcement from our environment to drive up serotonins and consequently dopamine. Let's talk about something called neurotransmitters. Might be you are knowing neurotransmitters in our brain. Actually, neurotransmitter has the four compartment, which is called dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, and endorphins. These are the four compartments of our neurotransmitters. Let's talk about all. First, we'll discuss with the octocin. Octocin is the bond that between the neurotransmitters. For example, new mother bonding with her baby releases oxytocin, bond them together. Endorphin, second one, feeling happy and elated comes from the prefrontal cortex, like front side of our head. Happiness comes from the left side, joy from the right. Endorphin regulates both of these feelings. Example of a positive way to drive up serotonin at work. Stephen receives positive feedback from her client about their improved health, which drives up her serotonin level and increases her motivation to go back to the next day and do it all again. Negative example. Stephen tries to create a wonderful night out with her husband, get distressed, but her husband comes home and says he had a terrible day. This is the devastating neurologically, seeing as women need more feedback from their environment. To cultivate effective experience over the relationship in its entirely can affect the brain. For example, if this type of a negative experience happen 10, 20, 50 times over the space of a relationship might go some way to the neurologically explaining the divorce rate. Relationship. Let's talk about something relationship, how it works with the brain. Development of female brain. More estrogen receptors is area of the brain that drive the language and communication. Able to read nonverbal cues, reading faces, listening to the tone, etc. The male brain is under influence of testosterone, affect amygdala in the temporal lobe that influences anger and emotions. More testosterone receptors there is the male brain. Talking it out help women to deal with stress. Female heal through dialogue. Men, because they don't have a big language center, don't need to talk as much. Relationships are so important in forcing you to the next level of development. For example, your personal and your work relationship, who you spend time with is with you become. Mirror neuron, constantly limiting and adopting the attitude and belief of the people around us. There is a saying, you need to love yourself before you can love other people. But you need to love other people first, because that's where you will receive serotonin and dopamine activation. If you want to feel more love, give more love. It's not because you are giving to get, but because it's who you are. Let's talk about your brain on breakups. Feeling devastated after a breakup of any kind goes back to our roots. We are designed to be in tribes of people, not by ourselves. This goes back to the evolution and our chances of survival being much higher in a group. Can feel like we have been exiled, feel the rejection on a neurological and physiological level. Cortisol, stress hormone, get released. This is our first or flight response, designed to get us away from the danger or flight the danger. The brain will perceive stress, which affects sleep and circadian rhythms, ability to stay asleep, and put your heart and vital under the duress. As much as you are modern, in many ways, our DNA and biology haven't changed much in the last 10,000 years. Why learn about your brain? By learning about the neurological working of brain, you can remove the judgment on how you feel, remove the shame of feeling bad, and understand that you are not unusual or a freak. Having said that, someone who affected the way your brain works and was a source of dopamine taken away can change the brain. So it's okay to feel the way you feel. Third one, when you are led by emotion, your brain functions differently. This is the way we say avoiding sending the emails when you are tired or angry, and keep learning more about your brain so you can identify when this is happening. For example, when you are lost someone, don't follow the person on social media. Change your physical environment. Avoid physical cues that will activate memories. Hope is by sharing different between male and female brain is so that you can remove the shame. Know that you are not alone. Know that the everybody feels the way, and it is part of our neurology. It's not unique to use and make you behave in a certain way. Understanding why you might feel needy or want complaints from your partner because your neurology need it. Nothing to feel ashamed about. Habits. Habits are promoted by a trigger in your environment. So, the best way to break a habit is to remove the trigger to avoid old behavior and memories being reinforced over and over again. Remember, make sure your physical environment serves you. With this, we conclude our session. Thanks for listening. Renovate Mind Life Coaching. I'm your coach, Mahmoud Ashmatullah Khan.